The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. If you're a sensitive snowflake that may get easily offended, then turn this off immediately. If you want to hear the real truth about the gun culture, then stick around. This is the Armed Citizen Podcast. What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode 156, I believe. It's 156. We are live as always on YouTube. If you're out there live, welcome to the dark side. We hope to have a little fun, maybe educate a little bit, or at least have a good discussion and give you ideas. I don't want to sound like we're here to educate you because we're all knowing. That is not the case. When I say educate, we're going to give our opinions, our thoughts on different topics. And if that gives you some ideas, fantastic. If not, then at least maybe we can dance and entertain you a little bit. So if you're out there live, go ahead and say hello. We don't know if you're out there unless you say something. If you're new to the channel, new to the show, then welcome. And let us know that you're out there and where you're from. We'll give you a shout out, hopefully. And once again, hopefully we entertain you a little bit and have a great discussion. If you want to text or call questions in, you can always do that on the Ghost Tactical Hotline, presented by our good friends Rod and Shelley Gates at the Gun Cleaners. That number is 530-364-4678. And this episode is brought to you by none other than Sportsman's Guide. And they're friends of our channel, friends with Clover, friends of a lot of us, but very good supporters of what we're trying to do here. And if you guys are looking for anything outdoors related, whether it's hunting, fishing, firearms shooting, tactical stuff, anything you can think of outdoors, they've probably got it over at sportsmansguide.com. So go check them out over there. This was supposed to happen Tuesday night, most of you know, but we had an interesting 48 hours where I am here, to say the least. Eric Hickerson says, Cleveland, what's up, man? Welcome. Cleveland. But we've had an interesting 48 hours here. Tuesday, a few hours before we were supposed to go live, there was a tornado that hit literally 1.3 miles from my house. Luckily, we were okay. Nothing happened here. I mean, it's wind and a lot of rain, but one of my buddies' houses got hit not too far, and so that was interesting. So we lost power here at the house. That's the only thing that really happened with the tornadoes. We lost power, and we didn't get it back till about 2 o'clock that morning. So that was an interesting night. And then, so yesterday we're like, all right, well, this is back to normal. So yesterday it's continued to just rain balls, man. We've had 10 inches of rain this week alone, and it's been nuts. And so in our little neighborhood here, we have 3 ponds in the place, and we got a 50-acre pond and a 25-acre pond and a 5-acre pond. And where I live on the back side of those ponds. There's 2 ways to get to my house, one road on this side and one road on this side. And there's a main big pond and then a pond on each side of the roads. Unfortunately, all 3 ponds became one big ass pond. So the roads were cut off. We couldn't get home. So we could not get to the house last night. I stayed at my office, got a hotel room for the fam. But they don't take dogs at the hotel, so I slept in my office with the dog. And yes, interestingly enough, it was a fun 48 hours. Everything is good now. I'm obviously back at the house. We have power and all of that. So, yeah, interestingly enough, it's Clover and I were talking before we go on. Let's bring our good friend and from the great state of Texas, my home state. The tactical virus, Leprechaun himself. What is up, Clover Tack?
Hey, man, not a lot.
Is it still raining down there?
Yep.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about, I said, I can't wait for 2021 to come. I'm done with 2020. And you made a good comment. It's like, are you sure you want to say that right now? And right. That's right. True. So Alaskan Ballistics sent out $2 super chat for my buddy to have a beer. I will make sure my buddy gets a beer. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. But yeah, it's interesting, man. It's just crazy. It really is. It's really crazy about what's going on this year. And just when you think you might get a little reprieve from craziness, you have 48 hours like this,
Murphy, man. I hate that guy.
I hate that dude. I really do. So there are some new ones out there. It looks like
I've seen that.
but I do want to go ahead and shout them. All the normal ones are out there. It's great to have you guys, but I do want to shout out some of the new viewers out there, or the ones I haven't seen in a while at least. RJ Adams, hope you can help. I hope I can help too. I don't know what you want me to help, so make sure you let us know what we want you want some help with. But yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of different things tonight. A lot of scenarios and all of that. Gizzard Gary, what's up, homie? Gary, if you want to jump in, let me know. I'll send you a link. Anybody else out there that wants a link, that wants to jump on the panel, we're more than welcome to have you as well. We're just going to have a really good discussion, so I'm not really worried about I can decide to let people in or not. So let's see here. Eric Hickerson, I think I said that earlier before. He was from Cleveland. Welcome, Eric. Adhira is from Knoxville, Tennessee. Randy, I think I've ever seen Randy, but Randy, I haven't seen him in a while, I think. Randy, I think I've never seen him, so welcome back. Snob, you've got a link if you're able to join. I know it's supposed to be Tuesday, but if you still got time, we'd love to have you. Nicholas Rodriguez says we had a tornado warning in Maryland today. Not normal. Don't like it. No, it's not normal for us either. And ironically, is Tuesday about 3:30, I start getting these alerts on my phone, tornado warning in your area, and I'm like, I've been here 18 years and never had a tornado right here because we have mountains in the lake and all that. So it kind of disrupts those kind of weather patterns. Then my mom calls a little bit, and she lives with us now, and she's hey, we're out of power. I'm like, oh, crap. And then I started getting text messages. My wife starts getting text messages from people saying, are you guys okay? And we're like, yeah, what's going on? And like, well, a tornado just like went right by your house apparently. And I was like, what? Yeah, interesting. Let's see here. Let's get back up here because Midnight Rain says, on my way to Ghost Tactical Super Secret Compound. Can you text me the code word and get past the guard post quick? It's just boo. Just say boo at the gate. And, the VI, I'm not going to give you the VIP, but I'll give you at least get you in the gate. From there, you're on your own. The VIP password gets you right to the as someone called it earlier, I think I want to start using it. It's called the Boo Galoo Bunker. So I like that. I thought that was interesting. Let's see here. I just saw Woody Rogers. Hello from Kentucky. Hello, Woody. Welcome to the dark side. Booger Dog. Yo. And James.
Woody Rogers is an excellent name.
Woody Rogers is an excellent name. Let's see here.
James. It's like Captain America's redneck brother or something, right?
Instead of Buck, it's
well, I mean, Bucky works really well too, but Woody would work as well.
But Woody would be awesome. Yeah. Woody would be a good one. James Polarin's out there. Hey guys, first time here. Welcome to the dark side. We hope you have fun and enjoy the conversation. Gun Cleaners, what's up? Rod and Shelly, what's going on? Tim Clark's out there. What's up from Frankfort, Kentucky? What the hell's going on in Kentucky? We must be big in Kentucky because that's like the third or fourth person tonight from Kentucky. So
maybe they just ran cable internet up through the Appalachians there or something.
Exactly. You never know. Anyway, so all right. So what we're going to talk about, Vanilla Gorilla. Now that's a name right there. What is up? Vanilla Gorilla. Interesting. All right. So basically the topic that we're going to talk about tonight was there's a thing going around within a bunch of creators on YouTube called if I could only have one gun. And it's where someone will do a quick video and say, if I only have one gun, what would it be? And then they challenge 3 other people to do that. And once again, it becomes this big thing. And it's really cool to see a lot of creators collaborating together. And that's really what it's all about, is collaboration and all of that. I got, I don't know, challenged or called out. I don't even know what the word is, but by Defense Dad. And sorry, Defense Dad, I haven't been able to get a video done. I've been a little busy between a hurricane, tornado, and rain. So it's I haven't done that, but you and I were talking, Clover, a few days ago. I don't remember when it was. And I love the idea of this collaboration and all of that, but I wasn't a huge fan of this one, not because I didn't like the collaboration, but I was a little worried about the message we were sending. And I get the premise of it. I think it's fun and all that, but you and I were talking on the phone about not necessarily liking the idea of telling people, especially if they're new to the community and all that, that only get one gun. You only get one gun. And so we decided to do it this way. Instead of doing a video response to about my one gun, which, by the way, if I would have one gun and that's the only thing I could ever have, it would probably be this one right here. That would be my one gun, because I can do everything with it that I need to. But we started, you and I were talking, and it's like, but there are so many different scenarios and so many different situations that, one gun, I honestly don't think, and you and I tried, we sat there and tried. I don't know if there is such thing as one gun is a catch-all for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree. This whole notion of you can only have one gun, what a nightmare. That keeps me awake at night trying to think. I don't want to think about that, dude. Come on. Crazy.
Well, you have more guns than that you've forgotten about. How about more guns that I have.
I know. I've forgotten about more than I own. Yeah. I say let's flip that and say the one gun you can do without. let's do that. I probably probably can get on board with that one. But just picking one. Yeah, there ain't no way. And I think at a certain point, that's what I get to thinking. So, I don't know that people out there want to throw out how many they own. I couldn't even tell you without looking at my logbooks what I own. But, I don't know if people are willing to say that. But some of these people that are actually thinking about, if I could just have one gun, how many do you own? Because you can't own that many if you have that mindset, right? And, I don't think. It's just because that's a foreign concept to me. It's absolutely, you're speaking Spanish when you say that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and Snob said it would be easier to pick which kid than which gun.
Definitely.
No doubt. Because I only have one kid, so that's easy. Not a problem. Let's see here. Born to be a shooter Josh says, Ghost, have you tried that DigiTrigger? I personally have not tried one yet. I'm looking forward. Gabe's going to be on obviously next Tuesday as well. He's giving a free one away, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit about the giveaway. But we are going to give away a free DigiTrigger next Tuesday night. But I have not tried one yet, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if it's worth the money for long range use or not.
Concept wise, I would say
it should be fine. Yeah,
I would say yes. Yeah.
Holy hell. Look who stopped by.
The Outlaw.
What is up, Ellis? It's been a couple minutes, man. Good seeing you. Hope everything's going well for you. Why is the AR-15 banned in Maryland? Because you guys elected shitty politicians.
Basically.
Honestly, I mean, you guys as a state elected politicians that are at least anti-freedom, so can't help you there. I hate to say it, but I mean, that's just kind of the short answer is elected the wrong people. So anyways, let's get back to what we're going to talk about, because I think some of the people that are new here might be here for the topic, not because of my pretty face or whatever. So Ellis, if you want to join, if you got time, man, I'll send you a link and I'd love to have. I haven't talked to you for, man, it's been like at least a year, maybe two. So if you're interested, I'd love to get you on. If you want, just let me know out in the chat if you want to come on, and I'll send a link to you. But anyway, so what we decided to do is, instead of talking about one gun, we're going to kind of talk about one gun for specific scenarios, whether it's concealed carry or competition, long range shooting, hunting, all sorts of the Red Dawn scenario, which it just turned into a wonderful conversation when you and I were having on the phone the other night about. People like to say shit hits the fan. I like to say a Red Dawn scenario, and you brought up a good point about the use of the Red Dawn / shit hits the fan may not be as accurate for a lot of the people. And you want to explain kind of what you were talking about there?
Yeah, I think the vast majority of people, they foresee. I mean, don't get me wrong. The most fun apocalypse will be the zombie apocalypse, without a doubt. But most people envision invasion or fighting the government or civil war or some kind of crazy idea like that. And I think the most realistic, apocalyptic end game, whatever you want to call it, scenario is going to be that you pretty much have to fend for and provide for yourself. It's going to be a little bit probably of self-preservation and a whole lot of feeding yourself and your family. I think is probably the most likely. And, quite honestly, with when it comes to feeding your family, depending on in what parts of the country you live, I mean, you could do that with fishing rather than hunting. So you wouldn't even need the firearm necessarily for.
Unless you like me and don't like fish. But I guess if it came down to surviving, I would probably eat
it. Yeah, you'd learn to eat it pretty quick.
A lot worse.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and one of the things that you brought up, and it's so true, because you and I, we don't take it for granted, but you and I don't live in the city anymore. I don't live in Dallas anymore. I live in rural Arkansas, and so for us, chances are, if one of those Red Dawn, shit is the fan, zombie apocalypse things happened, chances are we're staying home. We've got our supplies. We're going to bunker down and let the enemy come to us, whatever enemy that is. And we have home field advantage at that point. Yep. So our gun selections might be different than others. Now, if you're living, because we're not trying to get away from somebody. If you live in the city and one of these things happens and you're trying to get away from that threat, then your weapon choices might be different than ours. So that's where it's an interesting conversation.
And let me throw this out to the chat with the folks out there that live in a larger city, because I think smaller towns and stuff might not apply. I think you potentially see a community aspect there, and it wouldn't be that big a deal. Some of the cities around here, I live in a very rural county. Some of the cities even here, let's call them towns, because I feel uncomfortable even calling them cities that have 2, 3, 4, maybe up to 5,000 population. The people inside there, for the vast majority of them, would band together in a community effort, I think. And it would be a similar scenario to a, rural, living on the farm, living in the woods type thing. But for the people that legit live in a metro area, right? If there's anybody out there, have you given thought of where you're going to go? Because you're going to have to get the heck out of Dodge. That's going to be number one, is get the heck out of Dodge. And when you get the heck out of Dodge, where are you going to go? You got friends or family that live out in more rural areas that, you've mapped that out, that you can get to that place. I'm just curious. I don't have to do that. And so I'm curious if people, are they thinking about the guns and the ammunition and the arsenals and the surpluses and all this other crazy stuff? Or are they thinking about getting the heck out of Dodge and preparing for that? And the reason is, when you look at any of these scenarios that play out, and I watched a lot of videos, read a lot of stuff on different things, and you talk about these metro areas, they're going to eat themselves within the first few months. So, your probability of surviving in that scenario, if you're there, is extremely, extremely low. The best thing you can do is get the heck out of Dodge.
Exactly. So from South Carolina, the Palmetto State, what is going on, Ellis? I'm assuming you're still in South Carolina. You're muted, buddy.
I don't see him talking.
I don't either. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, and he's out, so maybe he'll come back in. No, you're exactly right, and like you said, you don't have that issue. I don't. As a matter of fact, my house is probably going to be a place where people from around here are trying to get to. We've got people that said, "Hey, if anything ever happens, I'm heading your way," and I said, "Well, come on with it."
Rod says he's heading up the road to Charlie's. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. They
Great.
hide them for us, man.
Yeah, great place with the amount of land and everything they've got.
Oh
Great place.
man. Now, Rod, if you're still out there, is Charlie's? Has he got his new house built and all that, or is it still in the works? So let us know. Snub says I'll be in Dodge in about 6 hours. Does that count? It does count. But yeah, Defense Dad says Clover, he knows exactly what you're talking about. Not going to say where, but it's a safe place out of town, and that's a person's guns that share ammo and calibers with his. And that's,
There you go.
that's what we're talking about. Is there's going to be places that people gather, and usually like-minded people that are going to help each other to survive and all that. What's up, Ellis? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Ellis? Hello? I don't know if he can hear us or not.
I'm going to say he probably can't. So
yeah. Anyways, he said it's almost done. The house is almost done. Awesome. We'll say hi to Charlie. So let's kind of start off real quick. And Midnight says, I said boo to the guards at the compound. They threw a bunch of trash at me. They knew you were lying with the code word. Sorry, bro. So let's start out with the first scenario, and we'll say can't hear us. Okay. Let's say concealed carry. Okay. I think I know where you're going to go with this, but if you're just talking about if you could have one gun that you can carry for the rest of your days, you can never have another one. What would that one gun to carry be?
I'm sticking with the 42 that I've got right now. That's been the longest running, consistently running concealed carry that I've ever had. I've rotated stuff. I keep a rotation like most people, and I've rotated stuff in and out of that pretty darn often. But that one has been my primary for a very long time, and I don't foresee it as long as it's been the primary. I don't see it leaving the rotation anytime soon. So
it's been your primary since I've known you. So
yeah, I got that thing. I mean, the 42 just came out when I got that, so I've had it. I don't know what year they came out, but right there at it. And like I said, I'm proficient with it. I shoot it enough that, I'm proficient. I'm confident. It's very concealable. Man, it handles, 380s, not like 380 is a massive round anyway, but, compare the Glock 43 to, say, the Beretta 84F, which is another one in my current carry rotation, right? That 84F it's bigger, it's heavier and everything else, and it's got more snap to it than that 42. The 42 is just, I don't know what it is about the 42 and that frame and the way it's designed and everything else around that 380, but it's just a sweet shooting little pistol.
Yeah. So out there in the chat, if you're out there, let's go ahead and kind of tell me what you guys carry. Steven says the G23. James says the Glock 30. Buck says the SIG P320. Keith says the 43X out there. For me,
Rod's going Canic out there.
Rod's going Canic, and see this is tough for me. Most of you guys know that I pretty consistently have 4 guns in my rotation. The Shield, the Walther PPQ Subcompact, the Canic SF Elite, and the Glock 19. Usually the Glock 19 is my carry gun during the wintertime because I like to carry that outside the waist. And when I'm wearing a fleece or something during the wintertime or a hoodie, that's usually what I'll carry during the wintertime. And I would say that if you would have asked me, honestly, just off the top of my head, I probably would have said the Canic. 17+1, phenomenal trigger with night sights, fiber optic front sights, already installed stock, and everything about that gun I love. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But it's hard for me to go against the Glock 19 just because I have put my Glock 19 that I would choose through absolute hell and back, through training, through competition, through every kind of weather condition and just crap that you can think of. That 19 has gone through it all and it has never failed. So if I could only have one gun, the best gun for concealed carry, I would probably say, is either the Shield or the Canic. But if I had to just choose one forever, we're talking reliability, we're talking parts that are going to be widely available should something happen to that, capacity, all of it, I'm going to have to say the 19. I love the 19, but it's been through everything. Grandpa says the 365 as well. Rich says the CZ P10C or the 365. I am actually in the process of getting a CZ P10C. Most of you guys know that I am not against that. I'm just not a huge fan of CZ. But I'm in the process of getting a P10C because they basically say it's a 19 clone, and it's a polymer frame and all of that. And from what I understand, the trigger's pretty good. So I am in the process of getting that. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking really forward to that and see if I like it. Marcellus Dunbar, hello Marcellus, said it'd be the HK USP 45. That was his first pistol, and he had the most time behind. That's the USP, the VP9 is a great one as well from HK. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, the HK USP. I was waiting. I mean, he must be a big dude.
Well, probably so. I wouldn't carry it, not because I don't like the gun, but that's just, I'm not a big dude. Green Badger Outdoors is the PO7. Mandatory carry says Glock 22, but he'd like to get the 27. Vanilla Gorilla 17. I love the 17, but
Yep.
The 19, I like it better. And James says a 19 Gen 5. Mine, my favorite generation is the Gen 3. So, both of my 19s are Gen 3s. Really love the Gen 3. So that'll be mine. Here it says, what's that?
I said I would agree.
You like the Gen 3 as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here it says the TP9 single axe. A lot of Canic love out there, and rightfully so. Canics are awesome. F&H. So here's the thing. F&H says CZ75 PO1. His name is Mr. F&H. Why is he not choosing like the FN 509 or?
Because he realizes the CZ75 PO1 is superior.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes, exactly. That's a sweet handgun. It just is.
Yeah. All right. Ellis is going to try to get in one more time. Ellis, can you hear me now?
Now I got you.
Holy hell. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I am good, guys. And Ghost, I just want to say before we go any further, you're wrong about the CZs. They're absolutely fantastic.
I never figured about it. I just never liked them.
And
I'm not a big fan of SIG either. I don't like them. They're great guns. They don't fit my hand. They just don't look right to me.
To be fair, you're not Ghost. You're not a big hammer fired guy anyway.
I'm not a big hammer fired guy. No. There are a couple that I like, but overall, you're right. I am not a big hammer fired guy, but everyone is raving about the P10C. So like I said, I'm looking forward. Now let me ask you, Ellis, are you still at Palmetto State Armory?
I am.
So I'm assuming you guys have just been ass crazy the last several months, but do you know, like, I'm sure you guys either sold out or whatever, but what's the one gun for carry. We're talking about carry right now. I'm going to get your answer as well. But what's the one gun that people have been coming in asking for the most? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's just depends on who's asking. We've had several come in for the Hellcat, the 365, the 19s, the 320s. It's just, they're all over the place. There is no one gun.
Yeah, the Springfield Hellcat's been getting a lot of love lately, too, from a lot of people. And but yeah, I'm actually really thinking, I'm going to try to get with the season P10Cs. Now, for you, if you could only have one gun for the rest of your life to carry, we're only talking concealed carry or open carry, whatever, but a carry gun right now, the scenario of carrying, if you could only have one gun to carry for the rest of your life, what would that be, Ellis? And don't show it.
That's a hard thing to say.
It is hard.
Honestly, I really can't go wrong with a revolver. It's a good choice.
Yep.
But on the other hand, if you're talking, round count, then you'd want a semi-automatic. Probably the P10C would be a great choice. The P09, I own one. It's another great choice. They're kind of big, but you go smaller with M&P shields. Those are great little guns.
And here's the thing about it is if you were wanting to go get a bigger gun, whether you're concealing it or open carrying, you can still conceal a bigger gun. You just have to wear a jacket or a vest or a sweatshirt or something if you want to go outside the way. So, choosing a larger gun isn't necessarily in this scenario a wrong answer. So,
well, if you're getting into the area now where you're talking about, okay, everything's gone to hell in a handbasket, what do you carry? And
it's one of those where, and we're going to get to the shit hits the fan, all hell's broken loose, one gun. But yeah, if you have only to carry one gun, it's a tough, especially for someone like me. Clover has guns that he does rotate, but he primarily carries one gun for most of the time. I literally will carry every week 1 of 4 guns. So every month, a gun's getting a week a month, in that rotation. So it is different,
I will say this, out of the guns that I own now, if I was to pick one to carry in a situation like we're talking here, just one gun, it would be my GP 100.
There you go. Okay.
That gives me
that mentioned out there, and yeah, that's a good one.
It gives me the opportunity to use 38s or 357, so ammo won't be a problem, and it's 7 shots. So,
E-Rock says the Glock 20, all hail the 10 millimeter. I know that Clover is a big 10 millimeter, especially in handguns. Big fan of the 10 millimeter. I have no problem with the 10 millimeter. I love the 10 millimeter a hell of a lot more than the 40. I tell you, a caliber that I'm interested in getting into. I've shot it several times lately, and I'm really interested. I'm really digging the 357 SIG. I like how that performs. That's something I might be interested in getting a 357 SIG gun here pretty soon.
I don't think you would be disappointed in that. And I will say this, from what I've seen over the last several months, 357 SIG is coming into its own.
Yeah.
It was waning there for a while, but now it's starting to make a big comeback.
Well, I think a lot of people also realize if you have a 40 that you don't necessarily like, and they make a barrel conversion to 357 SIG, you can turn that 40 into 357 SIG very, very quickly and easily. So that probably helps a lot of it, because no one likes 40. No one likes 40.
Nope.
Let's see here. Glock 29 is better to carry. I'm going to ask you guys this question because I don't, but Born to Be a Shooter, Josh out there says, have you ever heard anyone talk of a Fusion Firearms Ulti-Match barrel? Just trying to see if they're, I have not. Clover, Ellis, have you guys ever, Clover, you might have with doing that. What do you think of that?
Fusion is pretty good stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I know nothing of them.
let's see here. Okay, so we've kind of got out of the way of the concealed carry talk. So, Ellis, you're going with the GP 100. You said. Clover's going with the Glock 42, and I'm going to go with the Glock 19. So the next thing we're going to talk about would be in a home defense. And a lot of people sit there and say, well, my carry gun's going to work as my home defense gun. But let's say that you can use that as an option. But if you could pick one, I'm going to start with Ellis on this one. If you could pick one gun for home defense, but you could only have that would be the only gun you could ever use in home defense forever. What do you think you would go with?
PSA AKV.
Okay, the 9mm.
Yep. I got it right behind me.
Yep. not because you work at PSA, but
it's a fantastic gun.
No, guys. I've heard awesome things about it. So you go with the AKV. Clover, if you could think of one home defense gun, what would you go with?
I don't know. Man.
It's not like you did have 3 days to plan this, you know.
It's horrible.
Yeah, hey, I'm doing this off the cuff.
I know you are. You're doing a good job.
I don't know. I can think about 6, when you say that. So I don't know. It's a matter of throwing something out there. I probably go with the full size Walther PPQ. Let's go that route.
Okay. The Walther PPQ, can't go wrong there. For me, I'm probably gonna go and I'm gonna go with, and I don't want, because there's so many different ones that are out there that are good. So I'm just gonna say in general, like a 4.5, 5-inch 9mm PCC that runs Glock mags. And the reason why I say that is that now allows me to share mags with my concealed carry gun with the magazines and all of that. And sharing ammo and magazines would be important in the situation where home defense and all of that. So I would say like a 4.5 or 5-inch length 9mm PCC with running some sort of defensive round with hollow points and all of that. That's kind of what I would probably go. And the reason why I say that is one, you're sharing the magazines with your concealed carry gun, but you're also able with a 4.5 or 5-inch barrel PCC or carbine or rifle, whatever you want to call it. Your close quarter stuff, your clearing houses and all that is you have a lot more. You get a 30 round magazine for those 9mm PCCs with the Glock mags. So capacity is going to be higher, but being able to clear a room, it's the 5-inch, 4.5-inch, those things are not heavy. All sorts of things, the mobility, the modularity of the AR platform. And I'm saying the AR platform, not the AR, Clover. I'm saying the AR platform, AR-15 light rifle platform. But that's what I would go with. I would go with a little short AR pistol carbine. So let's see what everybody else is out there saying for home defense. Let's see here.
I like Nicholas out there, the M9A1. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Let's see here. I haven't seen. I'm scrolling back. Well, I mean, there's a part of me that almost went with the Beretta 92 as my concealed carry, and then I could go with the CX4 Storm that would share mags. I could have gone that route just as easily as the Glock with a AR pistol that does Glock mags. Either way, you can't go wrong with there. But yeah, I mean, you look about the M9. Everyone kind of knows my feelings about the M9. Okay, let me get back. I scrolled back up. So Keith says if Glock made a revolver, he'd buy one. I think you and everyone else, hell, if you want to see me buy a revolver, that's the one. I would buy a Glock revolver. And I know that we're getting ready to make Ellis throw up here. But it's okay. It's all right.
It's absolutely fine.
I think over the last couple of years,
thing,
I have a new appreciation for Glock now.
No.
All right.
I've sold enough of them though. The closest thing I think you'll ever get to a Glock revolver would be one of the Rhinos, and those are sweet.
The closest thing that's ever going to have a Glock revolver is already there. You've got a Glock revolver. I guarantee there's a Glock revolver design and a Glock AR-15 design sitting in a desk drawer waiting for old man to die off.
Probably. And probably in 1911 as well.
Probably.
And I'm going to say within 5 years of them deviating from what Glock does now, Glock will no longer exist.
You think so?
I called it right here on the show tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, you're probably right.
You dance with the one that brought you, brother.
I would say this, and I tend to agree with you to a certain extent. If they try to get into the 1911 game or the revolver game, I think there could be some major backlash. If they were to get into an AR-15, which is not going to have anything to do with handguns, and maybe have a separate division for long rifles or something like that, maybe possibly that would be able to hold up. But I do think if they do go revolver 1911s, I think there would be some major backlash for that for sure.
I mean, just look at the deviation they made. All they really made in deviation was going from center fire to rim fire with the Glock 44.
Right.
And look at all the backlash and everything that happened with that, right?
No doubt.
They start switching frame design and everything else. It's over.
Yeah. Now, I'd hear out there it says 300 blackout AR pistol.
Good choice.
That would not be a terrible one at all. And the only reason why I went with 9mm is because, once again, we're talking about sharing magazines, sharing ammo with other guns in our little repertoire there. But yeah, 300 black is going to be great, especially Clover will say if you're going to go 300 black, you better suppress it. And you could run that subsonic loads with suppressed. It could be great for home defense. So, yeah. Let's see here. Keith says 12 gauge. That's probably going to be a pretty popular choice. I mean, you can go get a 12 gauge shotgun for $100.
Yep.
And ammo is going to be readily available. And 12 gauge shotgun, or I'll just say shotguns in general. Honestly, I would probably go with like a 20 gauge if I was going to go for one for home defense, but that's just me. But what I'm saying is shotguns in general are good because, especially for someone that may not have the most experience with how to aim and operate, if you've got a shotgun that's already loaded and your loved one, all she has to do is pick it up, point, and shoot, it's going to be easier for them than something else that might give them. So a shotgun, yeah, that's going to be a very, very popular choice. What do you guys think about shotguns for home defense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, even in room, where we're talking room distances, using bird shot inside of a room, you hit somebody with it, it's going to take the fight right out of them. Might not kill them, but they ain't going to be wanting any more of it after one shot.
Well, same thing with the 22. 22, is going to kill them probably, but if it doesn't, it's still going to hurt enough. You're trying to end the threat. Just because you're defending your home doesn't mean you have to kill someone. You're just trying to end that threat. And I promise you, if you unload several rounds of 22 into someone, whether they die or not, they're probably leaving the house. And they're probably going to be hurting for a while, especially if you have, how do I put this, tactically placed rounds with them,
I love your choice of words there.
Yeah, you like that?
That was cute.
Okay, so placed. That's right. So I did finally catch up to Nicholas's M9. That's a good one. Rich White says open bolt AR-15. I'll just have to be careful not to blow my head off because it happens every day. 223 says a 9mm carbine with hollow points. So he's got really good taste, man. He's got really good taste,
That's Keith, what I went with.
Keith said the Walther PPQ is the best stock trigger. It's unbelievable. And it's hard for me to choose which one I like. I love the PPQ trigger and I love the Canic TP9 trigger. They're both probably a tie.
Yeah, they got fantastic triggers, both of them.
Unbelievable stock triggers. You can't go wrong with either one. But yeah, that PPQ, the reset is literally the best reset I've ever felt in a stock trigger ever.
And the Walker CCP is not bad either.
CCP is not bad. Just it's not bad. It's still, maybe it's just because I think that the CCP itself is like a little bit lighter gun. It doesn't feel like a PPQ. That gun feels like it's not going to be hurt. That thing is a great gun. Let's see here. Elder says, big fan of weapon familiar, so sticking with the Glock 23 all day. So he's going to go with the 23 for concealed carry and for home defense, which, hey, once again, I knew that there would be some people out there. James says a Roni would be great for home defense. I was not expecting to see that, but okay. Let's see here. Donger Operator says home defense shotgun is a 3.5 high brass steel shot from his Mossberg. Good luck, joggers. That would do it. That would do it. That would definitely do it. Defense Dad says run either the 12 gauge or the 7.62 pistol. I love my AK pistol for home defense. I'm just thinking that one, a little bit too much, but two, you know this, but if you've never shot an AK pistol, that thing is going to blow your eardrums away inside an enclosed building. That thing is loud as hell. So I'm not so sure that I would run. That's just me. Great. I love mine, but I'm not sure I'd pick it for home defense.
Wouldn't be bad with a suppressor on it.
It's still. I mean, it's still loud inside. It would still be pretty loud. But yeah, I mean, it's better. I mean, if you can handle it. Now, 223 has a great thing. You know, a lot of this, you see this in Hollywood and movies and TV shows, but he says when you rack your shotgun, just the sound of that may deter. I think if you rack any gun, whether it's a handgun or anything, you rack the slide on an AR or a handgun or a shotgun, you rack your weapon, that's going to scare a lot of people enough to say, you know what, it ain't worth it. Now, the question is why are you having to rack it? That's the real
exactly.
And then they got to be able to hear it. That's the next thing. If you're in the opposite end of the house or something, and
yeah. If you're close enough where they can hear it and you're having to rack that weapon, you're probably maybe in deep shit already.
You're behind the curve, honestly.
Yeah. And then here's the problem: if they're doped up on drugs, they're not going to care anyway.
Yeah, you're right. So, all right. So the next one we're going to talk about is a little bit same of the situation, but a little bit different of a situation. One gun only that we're going to, once again, any of the ones you've chosen previously could be great, but what I'm trying to do is trying to give enough categories that Clover can, it's easier for him. He can work his way through it. But the next one is, so we've done concealed carry. We've done home defense. Now what we're going to talk about is what we call a truck gun, a gun that you're going to take with you, car, wherever, if you're traveling, whatever. It's going to be that vehicle. I want to say truck guns. It's your vehicle gun. Not the one you're going to carry, but you might have a backup or a gun in the vehicle in case something goes down. Clover, I'm going to start with you. Do you have something in mind that you would use for your truck gun?
Yeah, I would go to like probably a 300 blackout pistol.
Yep, and you would have it suppressed, obviously, because yours
I
is.
would say, SBR if we're allowing NFA
SBR,
stuff.
sure.
I don't like freaking pistols, but yeah.
So 300 blackout SBR/pistol.
Yeah.
All right. Ellis, what about you? Truck gun.
I happen to agree with Clover. I think that's an absolute perfect choice.
There you go. I have a method to my madness. Okay. So in this scenario, I've got one right here, an 8.5 to a 10.5 inch AR pistol slash SBR, whatever you prefer. I'd probably go like this one over here. One of them, a 10.5 is probably 8.5 to 10.5, either one. Chambered in 223 or 5.56, and there's a reason for that we'll talk about a little bit later as well. But I'm going to go with another pistol slash SBR, but instead of going 300 black, I'm going to go 223. That's mine. Let's see here. So let's hear from everybody out there what you guys would use for truck guns. Donger operator, as an Australian in Pennsylvania, I could say, "G'day, mates." Just before I sling steel shot through the house. In Australia, we can't have much. His wife has an AKM. God bless USA. Well, I'm glad that you are here in the land of the free. Even though you're in Pennsylvania, it's still better than Australia as far as gun rights and all of that. So welcome. Let's see here. Nicholas says you need to watch Paul Harrell's 5 Gun for Home Defense for his Rack the Slide story. Here's the thing. I like Paul Harrell. He cracks me up. He's so dry and all of that. But I'm not the guy that will go watch a lot of his videos because usually I don't have 45 minutes for a video. Now, Clover, not saying he watches all of them, but Clover is more, he has a bigger tendency to watch Paul Harrell stuff than I do.
Lately.
And Gary's out there. There's several guys, and I don't know, Ellis, do you watch Paul Harrell stuff?
I have never missed a Paul Harrell video.
There you go.
Never.
So typically by the time that a Paul Harrell video has been out for more than 48 hours, I've heard about it from everyone. So that way I don't have to go and watch the video and waste that kind of time. I hear about it from everyone, so I know what most of his videos are about, and it saves me 40 minutes to do that. So that helps.
I just love watching him shoot the meat targets. That's just freaking amazing.
Yeah. Let's see here. Nighthawk says 300 blackout pistol. Let's see here. 223 says a high point carbine. Hey, I'm telling you, people are going to be out there laughing and probably giving him hell. But the high point carbines are legit. I think everyone, Ellis and Clover would all agree that they're a little bit bulky, but the high point carbines are legit. They are good. So, yeah. What do you guys think about the high point carbine?
I've never shot one.
Oh, really?
I have never pulled the trigger on one.
Okay. Yeah, go try that.
Capacity is the only issue, and the
Yep.
new ones are not capable. Well, I say that. Doesn't Big Tony Simon has got one of the newer models. Some company makes a bullpup stock for it.
Yeah, they come with bull. Well, they don't come, but yes, there are aftermarket stuff. It's funny that High Point is so hated on by so many people, but yet there's a lot of new aftermarket stuff available for them now. So There's not a lot of aftermarket parts for guns that don't sell. Just saying. Midnight Range says truck gun 10.5 inch 300 blackout. Now, Clover, do you have a preference on length for your 300 black?
You definitely don't want anything over 10.5. I prefer 8.5, 9 inch. Honestly,
okay.
With the loads that I typically run.
Yeah. What about you, Ellis? For your 300 black, what kind of length are you talking?
Yeah, anything from 8 to 10.5.
Okay. Yep.
You don't want to go any shorter than that because you're losing too much.
Yep.
It's just too much loss of energy.
Depends on the loads. I mean, if you're running suppressed, then you can shave those couple of inches off without a problem because you're running subsonic stuff anyway.
Well, if you're running subsonics, possibly, yeah. But at that point, that might be more of a home defense. At that point, I don't know if I'd want to go truck gun with that.
I put coyotes down at 150 with 8.5 inch barrel. So.
Oh, do you really? Okay. All right. Steven out there says CZ Scorpion for a truck gun. Great choice.
Absolutely.
Love the Scorpion. Love it. Let's see here. Yep. 300 blackout getting some love. 300 Black's getting some love, and as well as it should. It's a great caliber, and especially if you run it subsonic and all that would be great.
It is a very popular caliber, especially for hog hunters around here.
Well, I mean, it is I can't think of, if anybody wants to challenge me on this, then challenge me on it. But I can't think of another cartridge out there that has the versatility of projectile weight that the 300 Blackout has. I mean, 95 grain all the way to 265 grain. Name me another cartridge that has that versatility.
Not in that size. You couldn't. The only thing that would come close is 30-06.
Right.
And that's a lot bigger and heavier.
Yeah, and especially if you loaded Sabo rounds with, you know what I'm saying? Like the accelerator Sabo rounds. You could get down to even 55 grain with a 30-06.
Interesting, Steven says AR-10. Hey, man, go for it. I think that's maybe a little bit much for a truck.
I'll tell you what, POF makes that, what is it? It's the 308 in the 15 platform.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty doggone sweet, and it's available in shorter barrel versions as well.
Yeah.
Here lately, I've been seeing a lot of 308 pistols. We're talking 10-inch barrels.
I don't even want to think about that. That's not something that I would be interested in at all. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That's not something for me. A 308, and I mean, good Lord, can you imagine? Don't give it to a first-time shooter. They might not ever want to shoot again, you know? Let's see here. We're talking about Paul Harrell out there. Mario's out there. What's going on? Screaming Skulls out there. I'm trying to catch up. Mario says PCC for competitions. We haven't got the competitions, but that will be coming up here momentarily. Let's see here. Shot a 40 Smith high point carbine. It was all right. Well, it was all right because you shot a 40 Smith.
Right.
You shoot anything else. 9mm is great, but 10mm is phenomenal. Yeah, just get with the reason why it's all right. It was 40. I mean, come on. You're not gonna give you hell about that. Let's see here. Rich White says truck gun, a rifle caliber pistol, AR and 300 Black or AK. So we're talking AR, AK pistol. Yeah, at this point you bring in the AK pistol and all that. Like I said, I think we all chose an AR pistol / SBR. Difference of caliber of your choice. But
my opinion, if you're talking about toss up between 300 Blackout and 7.6239, if you're not going to shoot subsonic and you're not going to utilize the broad range of projectile weights, then X39 without a doubt.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. A lot of energy.
Cheaper,
and they run through basically anything you can throw through it. But yeah, I would agree with you. If you're
very
not
similar, very similar ballistics within that range we're talking about. Yeah.
And if you're, like you said, if you're not going to utilize the 300 Blackout to its capacity, whether it's be subsonic and suppress and all that it offers, then yeah, you're probably better to go with the
or even light projectiles, because 110, 115 grain stuff in Blackout is wicked sweet.
Yeah.
But you can't get that in X39. So, 125 is about the lowest you get.
Yeah. Mario says PCC for self-defense, never. Okay. Everyone's allowed to be wrong. That's okay. You know, you have the right to be wrong.
We don't judge. We'll laugh at you after the show, but we won't judge.
Now Jason is being a smart ass, which I love. He says a Mod Deuce is the perfect truck gun if it's mounted. I mean, if you've got a Humvee and you want to mount a Deuce on there, then sure. Other than that, I mean, if you're driving through town with a Mod Deuce on a turret, people aren't going to fuck with you. I promise you. I promise you, they're not going to mess with you. So if you can afford it, by all means, go for it. Let's see here. Booger Dog says prefer X39 over 300 Black, but not suppress or SBR either. So once again, yeah, and I would say SBR or pistol. You know, I've got a great M92 AK pistol that I absolutely love shooting the hell out of that thing. So I mean, but once again, I like pistols / SP. I like short barreled a lot more. Anywhere from 8 to 10.5. If I could have all my stuff like that, except for a couple, I would, because a lot of my stuff I like, doing CQB stuff, and I like being in tight. So I really, really enjoy shorter. I don't like full length rifles most of the time. That's just me. So I'm trying to catch up. Okay, so Donger says truck gun Glock 19. He has a Jeep. Can't swing a rifle around in there. I think he can, but I understand. I'm never going to say anything bad about someone who picks a Glock 19 for any reason. So I'll give it to you. Buck says an AR-9 with a 10.5 barrel. Yeah, and this is probably where I would start if I'm going to utilize a PCC for a truck gun. This is where I would go. For home defense, I like that 4.5, 5-inch barrel. For a truck gun, I probably would like to go to a 10.5 inch. That way, at least you're able to get that 150-yard shot. I wouldn't try to go much more outside. You can hit stuff at 200, 250 with a 10.5, but I mean, I wouldn't go much more outside about 150 yards with a 9mm and 10.5. That's just effectively you're going to have to hold 6-8 inches high, and that round, instead of coming in penetrating, it's going to be falling on top, probably hits your target on top of the head versus there. So, but yeah, 10.5 inch barrel, great.
Ghost, let me throw a wrench at you.
Sure.
Let's say you're on a budget. You've got $300 to spend. You want a good truck gun. What do you buy?
Any gun at all?
Any gun, no.
AR or
whatever you can get under that $300 mark.
New.
A
$300. I'm going to go with a high point 10mm carbine or 9mm carbine. You can get those for about $259. Well, in normal times, you can get it for about $250 to $260, somewhere in there. I would go with a high point carbine.
I'd say that's a pretty good choice. Really, I would.
My alternative would be a Canik TP9 1 series you can get for, or even the regular series, but you can get for $279 plus tax or whatever. You're talking about a 17+1 handgun that's phenomenal. I would go either one of those. You give me a handgun and a carbine, I would go with a Canik handgun and the high point carbine.
Clover, where would you go on that?
What are we talking about?
Well, let's say you're in the same situation. We're talking about a truck gun. You have $300 to spend. What do you buy?
$300 for a truck gun.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. There are people out there on budgets that can't afford $500, $600, $700 for a truck gun.
First of all, I'm gonna say you look at the used market in good times anyway.
Well, that's why I asked. He said it has to be new. So that's why I asked.
That's the caveat.
New, I mean, man, it's a good question.
It is a good question.
Probably.
Do you guys forget I used to do interviews? I'm good at questions.
I'd probably go with a high point carbine.
Yep. That's a good choice. Now I'm thinking a difference. I'm thinking going handgun, and I'm thinking Taurus G2C, G3C.
Sure.
Either one's a decent gun. It'll do the job.
I just got to think. I mean, when I'm thinking truck gun, I'm thinking I've already got my daily carry.
I'm looking for something else for 150 yards.
So I'm looking for something that kind of adds to that. Ideally on truck gun, I mean, I really like the idea of a lever action rifle. But then again, I mean, I don't know. It's in the days when you could actually have a gun rack in your back window and not get your
Kel-Tec sub 2000
anything else. No.
I wouldn't go with Kel-Tec.
No.
So Lance out there says a shotgun for $300. Yeah. If you use a shotgun, then I'd probably run slugs in it instead of shot. As a truck gun, I'd run slugs in it probably, because slugs are going to penetrate pretty easily through barricades and other cars that someone might be using as cover. So if I'm going to use that shotgun for a truck gun, I'm going to load it with slugs probably. That just be just me though.
What a Maverick 88, that'd work fine.
Yep. Now Booger Dog says got my complete upper for $295 and $30 shipping. That's phenomenal. But for we're talking $300. Yeah, you've got an upper. What are you gonna do? Throw it at him? No, but I think he's asking.
I guess if you already had
a lower
an AR, you already had an AR, and you just swapped it
to different
put it in
caliber.
your truck.
Maybe you wanted to go from a 16-inch to like you said, a 10.5-inch or something like that, or vice versa. Then yeah. But yeah, I would still say now Travis, I like where Travis is going. So there's some M&P trade-ins for $279, but the caveat was it has to be new. Because if it was a trade-in, you could have said a lot of different things. Or trade-in or used, you could have said a lot of things.
You could have got a Glock on a trade-in for that price.
Yeah, and Gary says, don't forget, Ellis does love Glocks. I sent Ellis a Glock 3 years ago, and
I still have it,
and he still has it. So
I still have it.
Maybe the only Glock.
Away. Well, I'm about to floor you. I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy a Glock.
Good.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
He finally come around. Finally.
Say that again.
I am going to buy a Glock.
Everybody needs a Glock, just like everybody needs a 22, just like everybody needs a shotgun. Now,
let me explain why. There's a reason for this.
No. There's no reason. Just say you're going to buy a Glock, and that's all I care about.
Well, I'm buying the Glock. It'll never be shot. I'm putting it in the safe, and that's where it's going to stay.
Okay.
But a friend of mine, a guy I have a lot of respect for and love dearly, passed away, and the last thing he said to me, the last time I talked to him, was, "You need to buy a Glock." So for that reason, I'm going to buy a Glock.
Well, if you buy any gun and you put it in the safe and don't shoot it, I've lost all respect for you.
No, thank you. Okay, I'll put one round in it, just for you, Clover.
Now, Rich says that's not Ellis. Not having the hat should have been a clue. But now when he's talking about buying a Glock, I have to question whether this is a robot or not. It's very well not. So let me ask you this, Ellis. There's that. See, I missed the hat. I hadn't seen that hat for years. Man.
I still got the hat. The hat don't go nowhere.
What Glock are you thinking about?
Probably a 19.
Okay. What do you have? A
19, 48, whatever.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to catch up. I think I've caught up. Lance was saying a Ruger 1022, not much power, but it's a gun. 1022. I would say a 1022 would be fine for a truck gun, or something like that. It's in 22. Would be great. You're talking that 50 to 100 yard shot. Sure, not a problem whatsoever with a 22. But I think that there are options out there that, once again, if you're talking truck gun, and the reason why the words mean something is if you're talking truck gun and you're talking about being in an urban setting or somewhere where if you have to pull your gun out in a truck, there's probably going to be other vehicles around that people could be using for cover. And you needed something that's going to be able to penetrate through car doors and all that. Now, people don't realize it's not hard to penetrate, but I don't think a 22 would penetrate at 50 to 100 yards through even a car door, which is basically hollow. And that's the only reason why I would second guess me for a truck gun for a 22. But I want to bring the 22 guy in here and say, Clover, what say you about someone want to do a 22 for a truck gun?
I'd be okay with that, quite honestly.
Yep.
Get your 3 or 4 22 round 25 round magazines.
You've got a totally truck gun. I'm thinking have to, get across town and dispatch some coyotes or some varmints getting in somebody's chickens or something, type situation, or you get a call while you're in town that, I've got to deal with this or that. And it's more of a animal situation than it is, you're talking combative inside city limits. And it's like,
That's
oh, wow,
that. That's the
totally
cool
don't
thing
see
about
that
it.
as I totally don't see that as very probable.
No, I hear you.
Very probable.
But that's the beautiful thing about this conversation is each one of us are coming from different places where my mind in most situations go to that scenario, where your mind goes to the same words to a different scenario. And that's the great thing. And that's why it's hard to say one gun for anything, because we're talking about a truck gun. And you and I right there have proven that we're mentally coming from the word truck gun from two completely opposite different sides of the spectrum, which is awesome because there are other people out there that are coming from the same sides,
Yeah.
Travis says, I have a truck gun, just now I need a truck. True. So I had an opportunity. So everyone knows I've been waiting for about 4, maybe 5 months now for the Ruger PC charger. And I've had it, and it's taking some time. I'm gonna have to wait. They told me I'm gonna have to wait, but I can't wait any much longer. So anyway, I get a phone call this morning from Buck, Grandpa Stanley out there, gun loving grandpa, and Buck calls me, and he had ordered a PC charger, and it came in today. And he calls me and said, "Hey, my PC charger came in, but they're wanting like $800 and something for it." He says, "I don't want to pay that much for it. Would you want it since you've been waiting?" And I was like, "Man, if you would have told me $700, I would have taken it. But $800 and some odd dollars is too much for a PC charger." Now, I would love to get my hands on one and shoot the hell out of it, but I'm not going to spend $150 more just because it's there. I'll wait till one comes in. But yeah, the PC charger, I had an opportunity, but I'm not going to pay $150 too much for it. Have you guys, I'm sure you guys get requests for that all the time, don't you? Ellis?
Here? Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I'm constantly breaking people's heart because we're not allowed to order anything from the store. So it's like, I wish I could help you. Can't do it. You have to order it yourself and have it shipped in.
Yeah. I got a question from Travis out there. It says, question for the panel. Would you rather buy a St. Arms 10 millimeter or 40 that just got released, or a nice beater pickup for hunting and range strips? Okay, so I'm gonna take the first crack at this. If you've already got something that is similar to, you've already got something in 40 or 10 millimeter, and the Cossaint is nice, but it doesn't fill a need in your life. It'd just be nice to have, versus a truck that will allow you to go to the range and get hunting stuff done. It actually fills a need in your life. And if it's the same price, especially go with the truck. But even if you're going to use the money that you would use for the firearm as a down payment for the truck, unless that firearm fits a specific need that you have, not a want, but a need, I would say that you're going to be able to utilize the truck for a lot more things. Clover, what about you? What do you think?
I totally agree. If you've got, I don't see, we know that the St. Arms is really, really nice stuff. And so, it's not like, that's probably not one you're going to, other than having some range fun and stuff like that, probably not going to do a lot with. So, go with the truck if that's a need. Get your needs taken care of first.
Even if it's not a need, I say go for the truck.
Yeah.
We all have guns. We probably have more than we need right now when it comes to guns. Go with the truck, dude. Go with the truck, dude.
Yeah. If Buck's still out,
you can never have enough, Ghost. I understand.
No, you can never have enough, but you also can never have enough transportation either.
This is fact.
Extra, it sounds crazy and people laugh, but it's
wait
always
till
nice.
One breaks down.
Yeah, it's always nice to have an extra vehicle around. Just saying. Lance, Buck, if you're out there, Lance says he'll get it. He'll buy it for $8, whatever it was. So Lance, get a hold of Buck. You've got Buck's phone number. Get a hold of Buck, and I don't know if it's still available. They might have already sold it. But if they haven't, like I said, I'm not gonna I would love to have my hands on it now, but I'm not going to spend 150 more than I should, or $200 more than I should, if I don't have to. Anyways, let's see here. That's a lot of tacos. Yep. Does anyone ever consider logistics in these things? And where are you talking about logistics? Minotaur, let me know. I got a text coming in. How do you guys, and I wish I knew who this was from. If you just sent me a text, let me know if you're out there who sent this. I'll shout it out for you. But it says, how do you guys on the panel actually secure your truck gun or guns? Ellis, is there a specific way that that you actually secure your firearms in your vehicle?
Not really, because whenever I go inside, it goes with me. So
okay, so you're usually using your carry gun as your truck gun, then?
Yeah, normally.
Yeah, okay.
Unless I'm going somewhere where I'm thinking I may need more firepower.
Okay, let's take that scenario then, and you're going to take a rifle with you of some sort, AR, bolt, whatever it is. You're gonna have a rifle with you in your truck, and you had to stop off into Walmart for a few minutes to pick something up. Are you going to secure that rifle somehow in the vehicle, or what? And if you do, what would you use to secure it?
The upside to what we have here is fold up seats. I could fold the seats down, fold the gun right up in the seats. You'd never know it was there unless, you actually got into the vehicle.
Yep.
So you're not going to look through the windows and see it.
Yep. I don't think Clover, he had to step aside for a second. I don't think he's back yet, but we'll get Clover's answer when he comes in. For me, there are, how do I put this? Compartments that are being utilized that may not be in plain sight. And sure.
Out of sight, out of mind with most.
Yep, exactly.
Things. We're talking about breaking in a vehicle. Is that where?
Well, basically the question was, I got a text from someone says, how would you actually secure, or do you secure, and how would you secure firearms in your truck?
The best thing is out of sight, out of mind. And that's not just with firearms, that's with anything. Most vehicles will get broken into, it's not like they look in the window and all they see is a stock stereo. There's nothing on the seats. It's just a vehicle. They don't see anything in the vehicle. Most of the time, they're not going to smash a window and go rifling through stuff. So if you don't keep a bunch of crap just sitting around in your vehicle to give them a reason to first, and you've got it hidden somewhere behind a seat, under a seat, anything like that, they've got to smash that window or whatever to get into it.
Yeah, so, and it sounds something as simple as this, especially if it's a handgun. If your glove compartment locks, put it in there. And the reason why is exactly what Clover's saying. If someone who's going to come into your car, smash your window, they want to be out of that car in about 10 seconds. So having to do anything with a lock on there, they don't even want to deal with.
You could use like a bicycle lock even or something like that through the trigger guard would be plenty enough they're gonna mess around with time. And something that I had a friend of mine, she run into a few years back. So I just want to throw this out there since we're talking about smash and grabs. So a lot of people I know do this. They've got tinted windows in the back, right? Really dark. And she had like an SUV type vehicle. And she got out of the vehicle, took her purse and put her purse in like what I call the way back or the hatch or whatever you want to call it, right? And she thought it would be safe because the windows are blacked out, you can't see in, right? But somebody seen her get out and put it in the back. So if you're putting stuff in back there where it can't be seen, make sure you do that from inside the vehicle before you get out. Don't advertise you're putting crap in the back because it does no good at that point if somebody sees you.
That, and I'm going to a couple of things here. Buck says no 2-way decals on your truck.
That helps. Political decals are a bad thing too. By the way.
Anyone can, that's a good point. That was a good point. Mandatory. I think it was mandatory. Oh, Defense Dad says we can't leave a gun in the car for 24 hours unattended. I don't ever leave a car unattended for 24 hours. I mean, at the end of the day, when I whatever I've got in my truck, it's coming inside.
If it's in my driveway, I do, but my driveway is just secure as in my house or anywhere else, really.
Yeah. Ellis, you got a message from Papa Midnight. He says, "Tell Ellis to come home. The kids and he misses you." So we all miss you, bro. We all miss you.
Yeah. Look, if I could get internet hooked up here, I would already be back. The problem is where I'm living, they absolutely refuse to run the lines for internet for just one person. I could get satellite internet, but it's going to cost me almost $280 a month.
And
I ain't paying it.
It's terrible anyways. You wouldn't be able to do much with it anyways. Besides check your email and maybe visit Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
The satellite internet's terrible. All right, so the next to last one, so we got three more. So the next one we're going to talk about is competition. If you could choose one gun, and what I'm saying is you're going to choose one gun for competition, so you can pick whatever competition it would be. Okay, whether it's steel challenge, precision, long range, whatever competition you're going to choose, you get one gun for. So Ellis, I'm going to start with you because I'm trying to give Clover some time to think. Because I know
yeah, I need it on this one big time. Yeah.
Wow. It would depend on the competition. I mean,
you can choose a competition. So
if it's pistols, CZ Shadow 2 all day long.
Okay. So you're talking about like IDPA, USPSA. You're going to CZ Shadow 2. Okay.
Yep.
Clover?
Browning Buckmark.
There you go. It took him longer than I
knew that.
It took longer to get it out than I thought it would. I figured he would be talking before I finished my words saying Clover. So no, we all kind of knew that the Buckmark was going to get the nod.
And that might be changing. That's as of right now. If we revisit this in a year, I gotta say, if we revisit this in a year, that could actually change.
Sure.
Travis, we have a black one at work that is absolutely beautiful.
People say that, man. Not in today's society. I'm sorry. What? What were we talking about?
No, he was saying the orange or blue handle. We have a black grip CZ Shadow 2 at work.
Yeah, black was kind of like that kind of graphite gray.
Yeah, it is sexy.
Yeah, I've seen that with the graphite, the dark gray. That does look really, really, really good. Mario is saying the TP9 Elite Combat. That's a damn good one. G23 says 50 BMG. He's going to be reaching out and touching some long range competition.
Good luck buying ammunition to practice. Is all I got to say.
Yeah, you start talking 50 BMG or 338 Lapua. Good luck practicing because at $5 a round, good Lord.
Try 10 for the 50.
Right now?
Right now, probably is. Yeah, probably is. Good Lord.
350 a round is the cheapest I've ever seen it. Like in my lifetime, the cheapest I've ever seen it.
And that's the cheap ammo.
Yeah, that's a Federal American Eagle 647 grain, 687 grain, something like that.
The expensive stuff gets way up there.
Yep.
Oh yeah. 223 says the 4.8 Shytac.
Yep.
Great round. You've got the 4.8 Tejas that our buddy Charlie shoots, and that was based off the Shytac. So G23 says he's finding for $6 a round. That's probably low. That's probably the cheapest stuff you can find right now. That round quote that you were talking about that was $350 is probably $6 right now. You know,
probably.
So for me, I'm going to go with that one right now. I'm going to start going with Steel Challenge, but I'm going to use the 22 MP5 22, whatever you want to call it. I would use that because I have so much fun playing with that, and shooting Steel Challenge in a PCC division with that thing, I think would be an absolute blast. So I love this thing. This is one of my favorite guns I've ever bought. I've had so much fun shooting it that I've got to find a place to put this. So the competition, I'm going to go Steel Challenge in the PCC division with that thing right there. That's what I'm going with. Rich White says competition gun, a Henry lever action. Cowboy shooting.
Good choice.
For cowboy action, that'd probably be great as hell.
Yep.
Defense Dad says, I meant even if it's secured in your car and you're in your garage, it got stolen, you're getting charged here. That sucks. Yeah, just make sure you take the guns out every day. You know, that's really what it is.
Where does he live?
Where is Defense Dad from? Do you remember, Clover?
I don't remember. He'll tell us.
Yeah, he'll tell us out here in a second. So Steven says, I want to try the MP7. Yep. Matter of fact, the MP7 is chambered in 5.7, correct?
It's a weird little round that thing shoots.
I think it's the 5.7 is what that's chambered in. And if that's the case, that'd be kind of cool as hell. But I want to say the MP7 may be chambered in 5.7. I might be wrong about that, but I think it is. MP5, love the MP5 platform and all that, but that's
it
was.
No. That's a FN developed. The MP7 is different, man. It's like a.
But I thought it was chambered like.
It's smaller than that.
Is it? All right. Let's see. MP7 caliber.
Like a 4.2 or something.
Or is it?
Yeah, it's an 8K round.
4.6 by 30. 4.6 by 30.
There you go.
Okay, there you go. You're right. I mean, it wouldn't have made sense that it was an FN 5.7 caliber, but for some reason, I knew it was. I knew it was something weird, and for some reason, 5.7 was sticking in my head. But yeah, it's the 4.6 by 30 in the MP7. So,
wonder how hard that is to find, even in good times.
Pretty hard, I'd imagine. You would. I mean, if you
I've never seen any of that.
Rounds,
I've never seen that cartridge on the shelf anywhere I've ever been.
Yeah. I would say if you can find it and you've got an MP7, you're going to go find it. Go buy bite the bullet, literally, and go buy about 2,500 rounds of that so that maybe possibly you could reload it with that brass a few more times. So, you you turn 2,500 rounds into 10,000 rounds with reloading it maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I've never bought 4.6 by 30, so I wouldn't know.
I bet that's a pain. 5.7's a complete pain to reload. I bet 4.6.
Well,
horrible.
No doubt.
Well, that makes sense. Travis says that the MP7's law enforcement only, so that would make sense why I've never seen the ammo around then.
Yeah, you'd probably have to order it through your local law enforcement. If you were the LEO, then your armory could probably get a hold of that for you.
Right.
But, yeah. Let's see here. I don't know if it's, I've never shot it. So I don't know if it's LEO or military only or not, but, like I said, that thing would be,
makes sense.
I've loved shooting the hell out of this thing. I absolutely.
Oh yeah. No, those are super fun.
So, all right. So the next one we're going to talk about is hunting. Once again, I'm going to let you create your own caveat as to what type of hunting, whether it's duck, deer, small game, big game, whatever your favorite hunting is, one gun to hunt with. Clover, what would it be?
One to hunt with. We're not talking about an apocalyptic got to fend for yourself scenario here.
No, this is just you enjoy hunting, whether it's to feed your family or for environmental reasons, whatever the reasons. This is not a survival hunt. This is, yes, you can put food on the table, but you're not surviving through the hunting. Okay.
Right. So, this is the only gun I can ever hunt with the rest of my life, basically.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, that makes it pretty easy. My Savage Model 110, Model 10 in 308.
Okay, so you're probably talking deer and larger hunting.
308, yeah. 308's going to get medium all the way up into the large. 308's still got it as far as around, I think, and can't get much better rifle than that Savage Model 10. And so yeah.
That's the one you brought down to Charlie's, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's one I shoot long range and stuff, but you can certainly hunt with it as well. So
sure, yeah, no doubt. Ellis, what about you? Hunting gun.
Well, see, that takes a little more thought.
I don't want to hurt you. You know, don't hurt yourself.
Funny. It goes to, you know, what's your environment? What state are you living in? What size of the game you're going after? Here in South Carolina, I'd go with a 7mm 08. It's the perfect caliber for anything in this state.
great round.
There you go.
Great round, and affordable in something like a Ruger American or something like that too.
Yep.
Let's see here. G23 says a 308. Wayne says 300 Win Mag. Great calibers. Mario's going to go with the Ruger Precision in 308. So we actually gave the actual gun. Buck says 308 as well. Let's see here. RL says 30-30 lever, or he says lever.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's right.
Yeah,
that
whatever.
might be the most popular gun caliber combination in the country still today.
Well, it's been killing deer for what, 90 years?
A long time.
I've never hunted animals a day in my life, and don't suspect I ever will. Not because I don't like hunting. I just have no desire to get up at dark 30, sit out in the fucking cold and water and wait for something to come by, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I have a 30-30 lever. So I mean, if that tells you anything, I've got an old Winchester 30-30. Matter of fact, that was when I got out of boot camp, came home. I had 10 days off from boot camp and was in Walmart and saw it there, and I was like, boom. So I bought it. I paid like $150 for it, or something like whatever it was back in 1994. But even I've got a 30-30, so and I don't even hunt. But yeah, 30-30 is probably going to be a very popular one. 223 DMR says the 223 bolt gun for deer hunting.
Not all states allow that. That's going to be the problem. Some states
not humane enough, or what?
Well, some states have straight wall restrictions where the cartridge has to be a straight wall, and that knocks out even 308, right? And some 223, you can't go down that low. You can't go with anything below like a 25 caliber or something.
That's being inhumane to the animals. Is that what they're saying?
I know this is all state regulations. So all I'm saying, since we're talking hunting, this is a good time for a public service announcement to say, those that are hypothetically throwing things out there, if you go hunting in the future, please check all your regulations and make sure you comply, because there's some weird ones.
Yeah, don't say, hey, go set. No. No, we're not saying that.
I had a question today. I had to look up. I had a question on an older video, and I had to go look it up. I had a guy asking me about what the broadheads that I had in the video, could he use those to hunt with in New York State? And I had to go look up New York State's bow hunting regulations. Yeah, actually you could. You
can. Interesting.
But New York State has some screwed up nuanced regulations when it comes to the broadheads you use to bow hunt. Now, why they make the distinction between one or the other, I have no idea, but there it is. It's weird.
That's interesting. Here says AR-10. Rob says 12 gauge, and maybe he's saying 12 gauge because he's in New York, so he might be limited in what he can have. JMA says AR-10. Patriot in the Dark says 17 HMR with those cute little groundhogs. Maybe because 17 HMR is maybe one of the only calibers you can find on the shelf right now. Might be a smart move.
Great round if there's no wind.
Yeah. Booger Dog says 70s Remington, 700, 270 Win, Federal Premium, Nosler partitioned, 150 grain. Wow. He got really specific. That's awesome. Let's see here. 223 says his son killed an 8-point last year at 200 yards, and he's with a 223 bolt action.
Could do that.
Yeah. Screaming Skull Saloon says I've taken 2 whitetail bucks with 75 grain. 223.
that's the thing with 223. When people start talking about 223, in their mind, a lot of people that don't hunt are thinking AR, and they're thinking 52 grain, 55 grain, and you can get 223 all the way up to 90 and even 100 grain. So, when you go into those hunting situations and you have bolt rifles and stuff like that, you're typically going to run a lot larger grain projectile. So it's not quite the same.
So this one, I love this one, the HK91. I shot it before, awesome. And there's one of my local gun shop. It's been there for about 6 months now. And he's wanting 3,900 for it, which really technically is not a bad price for it. It really isn't. But I don't have the money to go buy that. But yeah, the HK91 is awesome. It's fun. It's a heavy gun, but it's fun for sure. Let's see here. Josh says 6.5 Grendel 20-inch AR or his DPMS 308 with an near 300 black hole weaponry barrel, 18-inch 308 win.
Nice.
The 6.5 Grendel, man. That's a lot of the guys that I know that go hunt a lot. That seems to be a really popular cartridge that they use. And I'm assuming that ballistically, it's probably really good for medium to big game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of people around here use 6.5 Grendel a lot.
Around here, a lot of them use 6.5 Creedmoor, but they don't use heavy enough rounds with the gun, and they come back complaining that the deer just ran away. Well, what kind of ammo you're losing? Real light stuff that's traveling at Mach 10.
Ammo. Yeah, it's just precision target ammo. Yeah, it's not hunting ammo.
Yeah, exactly. And you try to explain that to them, and they just look at you like you're an absolute idiot.
Well, you get into things, and I get questions all the time, and if you reload, you get them. That people don't understand ballistic coefficients, and they don't understand sectional densities, and they don't understand all this other stuff when it has to do with the projectile. They're just looking at the weight, or they're just looking at the caliber, even. And when you get into a hunting situation, there's a lot of nuance and minutia you got to pay attention to.
Yeah, he's throwing big ass words out there, dude. I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
So
what he said.
Yeah, right. 1% out there says the Ruger American and 450 Bush. If ammo available,
good choice.
If it is a 30-30 lever, so 458 Bush will get it done. No doubt about it. Mario wants to know, where in South Carolina are you at? I don't know if you want to give that information, but he's asking if you want to. You can tell him. If not, then that is your privacy.
I am right now probably 10 miles from Paris Island.
Oh, God. Do they wake you up at 4:30 every morning to yell?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Paris Island is where the East Coast boot camp for the Marine Corps is. So you're in the land of the sand fleas. Holy shit. How bad is that?
Don't bother me.
All right. JMA says take an elk last year with a 30-06.
Yep.
And Steven says 30-06 for hogs and bear. Travis says deer jerky, bro. Deer jerky. Oh no, I'm not. I don't like to hunt, but that doesn't mean that I don't like me some deer jerky and some summer sausage and all of that. I'm all for it.
Well, get off your butt, shoot yourself a deer, and make you some.
Right.
I woke up at 4:30 enough in my life, and I don't care to do it when it's freezing ass cold, to sit up either in a tree or in some fucking water, waiting for either a deer or a fucking duck to go by. I'll be the one who's cooking breakfast in deer camp or the duck club, but I have no desire to do that shit.
You do realize you can go in the evenings as well, right?
I don't care. By the evenings, I'm going to be hammered, so that would not be a good idea. So,
Clover, is there any hope for him?
No, probably not. I mean, he's slowly getting there. He's got a 22 that's behind him now, and he's shied away from that for the longest. So
he did.
Lord.
I'm starting revolvers next though. Before we ever get to hunting, we got to get him in a revolver.
I almost. I was.
Well, you better start him off with something small like a Heritage.
No,
I want to get him back into a Smith & Wesson Model 10. He said that's the one that drove him away from revolvers, and that's like one of the greatest revolvers of all time. Is the Smith & Wesson Model 10. I don't know what his problem with it was. I think he would actually appreciate it nowadays.
Now, but that was 27 years ago.
You just did not have appreciation for a great piece of machinery, brother. That's all it was.
No, it was 20-something years ago. But yeah, and I've told you this, and I've told other people. That is still one of the regrets of mine. Is that was the first handgun that I ever bought, and I got rid of it, and that is a regret. Not because I regret not having that revolver; it's my first. So, yeah, I do regret it, and you're probably right. I would probably have a better appreciation for it now, but at the time, I don't know. Wayne says TJ's here. He says better late than never. So. Welcome, buddy. Wayne says, I do love AR-10 and 6.5 Creed. I'm a big fan of 6.5 Creed. That will be another purchase that I have. I'm looking at the Savage. What was it? The Savage Stealth. Mm-hmm. The one that I regret not getting. Was it last year or 2 years ago? They had it for like $800, and I didn't literally pull the trigger on it. It still haunts me because I can't find that for that same price. I probably won't for a while.
I know where there's one of those sitting right now.
Do you really? For how much?
I'll have to look. I've been on vacation for the last 5 days, so I'll let you know.
Let me know. Yep, shoot me a text, man.
I got your phone number.
Yeah. So Booger Dog says Florida law, no bullet smaller than 243, so which obviously means no 223.
You're way behind. Good Lord.
Oh, dude, I'm like you are when you get on Instagram. I'm way behind because I see something I don't want to scroll past it because I'll lose it.
What's a good thing? I mean, that means everybody's out there and active and having a chat. So thanks to everybody in the chat.
We're rolling tonight. Absolutely, we're rolling tonight. I'm loving this. Usually can stay pretty much on top of it, but there's been some good ones. Booger Dog says love 264 and 20-inch. Shoot 6.5 Grindle. Let's see here. JMA, I was gonna keep sleep like that. I'm up at 4:30. See, he's still young enough where he's still PTing. I quit PTing a long time ago, bro. A long time ago. As far as PTing at Dark 30. Okay. So now RL says the Model 10 is one of his all-time favorites. There you go. G23 says we're going to buy a 40 Smith. No, you ain't. I can promise you that. I'll never buy a 40 Smith. 10 millimeter, 357 SIG. Hell yeah. I'm in it. Not a 40. I've shot enough 40 to know that I just do not like it. Let's see here. Okay, I'm trying to get back up here. Anything else that you guys have seen that I need? Oh, he's 43, so yeah, you're still PTing at 4:30, man. Sleep in a little bit. You've earned the right to sleep into late 6. You know,
right?
Shit. All right. So the last one that we're going to talk about is that shit hits the fan / Red Dawn / zombie apocalypse. You get one gun for whatever it is. And I want you to tell me whether is a shit hit the fan / Red Dawn or is it a zombie, explain why. But for one of the shit breakouts, you get one gun. Ellis, what's the one gun you're going to take to basically battle with?
Well, I have to stop and think that in a situation like that, you're not only going to have to deal with people, but you're also going to have to deal with killing animals for food. Mm-hmm. Something that ammo is not going to be too hard to find. Not overly heavy. Robust, can take a beating. AK-47.
Love it. Absolutely.
Or an AR chambered in 7.62 by 3.9.
I've got one.
So do I.
not. I love the 7.62 round, but I love the AK. I like the actual AK. You know what I'm saying? I've
Yep.
got an AR chambered 7.62 by 39, and I just, for me, it feels almost like weird shooting it. It's like I'm cheating on my, my wife or something with something else. So
I don't have that issue with it.
I understand. That's fine. So you're saying AK for sure. All right.
Yep.
Clover, what about you? And like you said earlier, you're talking more probably zombie apocalypse versus Red Dawn. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, my scenario like that really is not a war type scenario, And I'm honestly leaning toward. Man, I really do love this Smith & Wesson 617. You got 10 shots. You got a revolver.
A 22 revolver?
I mean, accuracy, 6-inch barrel, accuracy at 75 yards that I know of is just unfreaking believable. So, I mean, you're talking about hunting. You're talking about portability being through the roof, being able to take a lot of ammo, have a lot of ammo. So, I don't know. I mean, I kind of lean that route, to be honest with you.
That is something that I never expected to hear someone say. I'm not making fun. I'm just saying I never would have expected someone to say a 22 LR revolver for shit hits the fan. Awesome. I mean, absolutely. And you make good points as to why. It would not have crossed my mind, put it that way.
Mine either.
But I understand what you're saying because you can do a lot of stuff with it. For me, it's going to be an AR in 223. Obviously, I'd like to take that specific one because it's got how it's set up exactly how I want it. But I would say an AR in 223 for a lot of reasons. One, you can do basically anything with it, from home defense to you can reach out and touch probably out to 800 yards. Max effective, I'd say 500. I probably would like to have around 300 is where I feel really comfortable. I know that I can tear some shit up at 300 yards with that thing. But the great thing about it is if you're in that shit hits the fan scenario, everyone and their stepmom's got an AR. So if yours breaks down and needs a part and you see one lying on the ground, the parts are going to be, interchangeable with 223 because most people are going to have it, are going to find 223 ARs. So parts could be readily available to fix gun or whatever. Ammo should be available. You can share ammo with your buddies because they probably have a 223 AR as well. So if you're talking about shit hits the fan, I'm going to say an AR platform chambered in 223/556. That would be something that I would go with. And it's very modular, light, like kind of what, for the same reasons you chose the AK, Ellis, honestly. The AR platform gives you those same options of being modular, being lightweight, being able to have good capacities and all of that. So all of the same things that you're talking about, the AK, the AR gives as well. But I would choose the AR. Now, just shooting, everyone knows I love shooting an AK, but for something like that, the modularity, being able to put attachments and all that stuff and all of that, I would probably take the AR. So let's see here. Let's go back up and see if I can find. I saw one that I just laughed at. So Patriot says, what? No Mark 19? Having a Mark 19 would be pretty badass, but if they get inside 50 yards from you or 100 yards, an automatic grenade launcher is not going to do what you think it's going to do for you. Plus, you can't really hunt. You can hunt with it, but there's going to be nothing for you to eat after that thing goes off. So, Patriot says M249, the saw all day. He's going with a 249. As far as suppress fire and handling an enemy, for hunting, probably not a very good choice for hunting.
And I wouldn't want to carry it around all day.
And you don't want to carry that son of a bitch around, I promise you. James says pick a Yugo SKS. You like
Good
the
choice.
option to turn off the gas system, detachable magazines, or should fan reliability. That's not a bad one. Rich says Patriot gets to hump the 249, the 240. I pick the 240, the 249. That's just me, but yeah, since Patriot called it, he gets to be our Saul guy, so he gets to hump it. 223 says, shit, it's the fan. I'd have to choose the Mark 12. Okay, the Mark 12. Let's see here. Now this is actually thinking smart here. If the Chinese and Russia attack, then it changed to an AKM. If a natural disaster, 556. Now, if the Chinese or Russians attack, the AK might be the better way because you could probably get stuff off of them that you would be familiar with.
Why couldn't you get their weapon at the same time then?
Yeah, but then you have to think: are they using the 74 or the 47? If they're using the 74, then 47 ain't gonna help you none.
Take the weapon with you. Now you got
exactly.
Well, if that's the case, then does it really matter what you've got as long as you're proficient enough to take down one soldier with it?
That's true. See,
including not even having a firearm, instead using a bow and arrow.
See, I'm surprised you didn't bring up a bow and arrow for a shit. It's the fan.
Because I'm not Rambo.
We said no. Firearm, but you said firearm.
I said one gun. I said right. I said one.
So we're talking one gun.
But you have said one weapon. Would you have brought up a bow and arrow?
That's what I don't get when we talk about this Red Dawn scenario.
Yeah.
You know, if you're good, if they're on your turf, right? They're in my deer woods, and I have my bow. I'm taking down one soldier with my bow, and then I got access to everything he's carrying.
Yeah.
So, and then I can take down the next one with that, or the next one with that, or I can take down 3 or 4, and I can arm 3 or 4 people before they even know I'm there. Right. So technically, you don't even need a gun in that scenario.
If you're very good with that. For me,
a gun could be a liability because that would give away your position with a muzzle report, and then you're screwed.
Could be. Rich White says the Mark 19 would be good for fishing. Could be. So Steven wants to know, what will we go with? Only one shotgun. If you could choose a shotgun, and I guess he's saying that you could use it for competition, for hunting, for home defense, whatever. But you can only choose one shotgun. What would it be? Ellis, we'll start with you.
My 590A1.
Yep.
You guys have seen it in the videos. I've got a 590A1, and I love it.
Clover, what about you?
I love my Yildiz over under. I mean, it's an MX Clays, but if you're talking about bird hunting, you're talking about anything. I mean, with any type of double barrel that takes chokes, you've got the ability to have access to 2 different chokes in one platform there. You could always go cylinder bore choke, shoot a slug through it, buckshot, sporting clays. I mean, you'd have a lot more versatility, I think, out of something like that. High brass, low brass wouldn't be an issue, and you would have to, of course, worry about that with a semi-automatic. Whether you were running mini shells, full size shells, 2 3/4, 3 3.5, whatever it might be, you're not going to have any issues along those lines as well that you would have in, say, some pumps or something like that. So, yeah, over and under.
Yeah, if you would have asked me a year ago, I easily would have said my Mossberg 500 Tactical. Love that thing. Fun as hell to shoot. You can do whatever. But I've got a couple of these AR shotguns from Rock Island, and that bullpup is a beast. It is awesome. Was it a 6+1 or 8+1? I can't remember. It's either 6 or 8+1. I think it's 8+1. But yeah, man, that bullpup shotgun is fun as hell to shoot, and I enjoy it. So I would go with the Rock Island, and I don't know what model number it is off the top of my head, but it's the bullpup AR platform shotgun, which is it's awesome. It really is fun.
What is the VR 40?
I think it's the 60. maybe the 40, but I think the one I have was the VR 60, maybe.
So you like those?
I do. I do. I don't. I've got the regular AR and then the bullpup. I don't like the regular AR. I do like the bullpup, but I'm a bullpup fan, so that might be one of the reasons why I like it. I don't necessarily like the AR shotgun, but I love the bullpup shotgun.
I don't trust a magazine-fed AR. They weren't designed for that. That's an awful lot of weight in a magazine below the gun.
Yeah.
I'm just weary about it.
No, I hear you. I haven't had any issues yet with the bullpup. I have with the AR one, and I let them know about that. But I haven't had any issues with the bullpup yet. So, and I enjoy it. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the AR, but the bullpup I'm a big fan of so far. So, 223 says the Benelli. Benelli, Beretta. There's a lot of guys around here that have Benellis and Berettas that do a lot of skeet and trap shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't shoot skeet or trap, so I wouldn't.
Big in the duck hunting world too.
Yeah, I imagine so. Remington 870 Express Super Mag 12 gauge shoots all 2 3/4, 3-inch, and 12 gauge 3.5-inch shells. I mean the 870 is, it's one of the standards out there. I mean that's kind of one of the ones that set the bar. So sure, 870 is very, very popular. Let's see here. Rich says, I'm not classified as a shotgun, but his 590 Shockwave 20 gauge. If you watch One Gun, you know why. He loves his Shockwave. So I kind of figured he would say that. They are cool as hell. Thomas says Winchester 1300.
Yep.
Good choice.
That's a good one.
What about the Panzer Arms and Black Aces tactical bullpups? I don't know. I haven't shot any of those.
I don't have a lot of experience with either, more with Black Aces, and of the two, I would say Black Aces.
Okay. I've seen a lot of Black Ace shotguns come to the shop, man.
Is that a good thing?
They are well built. They are well built guns.
Are you talking about coming through that people are buying, or people are coming to trade in?
No, they're coming in to pick them up after they've ordered them
online. Okay. I bet you they are coming through the shop, like people are bringing them back or looking to trade them in or whatever. So
no, I haven't seen any of that as of yet.
Okay. Yeah,
but a lot of people are buying them.
Yeah, Rob says he take the 500. It's tough running no matter what you put in it. I mean, I like mine.
Yeah, I've always been a Mossberg guy.
Yep.
So I would agree.
Let's see here. Rich says he loves his Vepr 12, but I think it's heavy. Yeah. Let's see here. Patriot says, why do we have to shoot zombies? Why can't we be their buddies? Because they want to eat your brains.
Well, I mean, if you watched, what was that, season 2 of The Walking Dead, where she chopped their arms off and their jaw off, where they couldn't grab her and they couldn't bite her.
She was like their bodyguard, basically.
She put a chain around them and they were like her bodyguards. Yeah, that was amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Jacob. Now, Ellis, you don't know Jacob. Jacob's been around for several months now, but Jacob is early 20s, young guy. Just bought his first firearm about a month or so ago, and it was a shotgun, and then bought, what did he buy recently? It was a revolver or something, wasn't it?
Or a
1911.
Llama 380.
A Llama 380 1911. So he's bought his first 2 guns within the last month, but he's been coming to the show a lot, and not just mine, but other people's shows, and asking great questions. So he is new to the firearms game and all of that, but Jacob's asking 12 or 20, which is better. And depending on what you're going for, I honestly, if I had to choose one, I honestly would probably choose a 20 gauge over the 12. I think it's a lot more, you can still hunt with it, but I think when you're talking home defense, it might be a little bit better for home defense or something like that. So if I had to choose one of the two, I would probably choose a 20. What about you guys?
Clover, you want to go first? You want me to?
Yeah. Well, I can. Let me say this. It's not up there, but I would go 28. Honestly, I think 28 is the best gauge. that said, I mean, if you're talking about most situations, I mean, 12 is the simple answer because,
Sure.
Bigger diameter means more shot, means more potential rounds on target, blah, 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 right? But 20 has its place too, I think, in something like maybe what you was mentioning with like a home defense, or if you had a woman or kids using it or something like that. A 20 is a little
Sure.
less brutal than a 12. Some 20s, put it
Would you
that way,
go for
are
10 or
brutal.
would you kind of stop at the 20?
What do you mean, go 10 gauge?
No, 410. Would you recommend a
Oh,
410?
410. I wouldn't recommend 410 for nothing.
Right.
Period. Period. And if you're thinking I'm going to give my kid a 410, and especially if you're trying to get them into sporting clays and stuff like that's the worst thing in the world you can do. I don't even recommend that. 410 is to me is an advanced gauge. That's something that an experienced shooter needs to have. As far as hunting and stuff like that, not a great choice. It's just the learning curve and everything else. It's too little shot, right? But you've got options out there. People don't think, for example, I mean, I mentioned the 28 gauge, really like that. 16 gauge was popular forever. And in the early days, what's called the gentleman's gauge was 16 gauge. Was super, super popular in the earlier part of the 1900s. You can find a lot of old shotguns out there. Used shotguns are really cheap at 16 gauge. You can still find 16 gauge shells. And 16 is kind of a happy medium, honestly, between that 12 and 20. I don't know why it fell out of popularity so much.
I don't know. I don't know either. Stan from SS Pawns out there. What's going on, Stan? How you doing, buddy?
I will say this:
Yeah.
if you're thinking about small game hunting, 20 gauge is the way to go all day long. It's not going to do overly damage the meat, which is the primary reason for small game hunting. You want to eat something. For home defense, it's not going to give you the recoil that a 12 gauge does. You're going to be able to retain target easier. You're going to be able to get back on target faster. There's so many advantages to a 20 gauge shotgun over the 12. The only real advantage the 12 has is you're putting more pellets with more power downrange. But you're giving up the ability to get back on that target quick because 12 gauge has got a hell of a pump to it. You feel a 12 gauge when you pull that trigger. You got to know how to get behind that gun. It's not one you can stand up like a boxer, pull the trigger, and expect to be right back on target. It don't work that way with a 12 gauge.
Right. But you're going to be a little sore the next day.
Yeah. You're going to know you pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
And like Clover was saying, you can find double barrel side by side 16 gauges, which is perfect for home defense. And believe me, that somebody looking down the barrel of the 16 gauge ain't going to give you too much lip.
I would imagine not. No. Screaming Skulls got a question. What about the Chiappa Double Badger 20 gauge 22 LR over under? I have never seen that, much less shot it. Have you guys ever seen that or shot that?
Nope.
Yeah, and I've shot a bunch of different variants. There's a lot. There's a
you like it?
There's a 30-30, I think, 20 gauge. Is that what it is? 30-30 20 gauge, I think, at the local gun shop right now. I don't care for those. I don't care for the multi-barrel rifle shotgun break actions. I just don't. There's an inherent issue when you're talking about double barrels, and if you're talking about scatter shot with double barrels, shotgun shells, it's not as noticeable. But if you get really big into sporting clays and stuff like that, you will notice it, right? You'll notice that, the lower barrel patterns a little differently than the top barrel or the side barrels or whatever, right? You still notice it even with scatter shot. When you have a situation where you have the rifle and the shot shell, you're talking about two different things in the same barrel configuration. It's just weird. I don't care for it. But that's a personal thing too. Some people love them.
I no experience with them, so I wouldn't. I'd be lying if I'd said anything. So I don't know. Well, damn, we've been going over 2 hours. I just looked up and saw that. I had no idea. And you've got a show coming here in about an hour, so we're going to start sweeping the floor. Before we get out of here, I want to thank everybody for watching. It's been out here live. If you've made it 2 hours in replay or in podcast form, bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you. Hope we've helped a little bit, at least given a lot of different ideas and reasonings to why certain guns might be. And the great thing about it is the three of us, none of us ever came up with the same answer for a scenario. So every time we talk about a scenario, we had three different choices and three different reasonings why, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Is there's a lot of guns out there, and depending on about what you're looking for in a specific scenario, hopefully we helped you out a little bit and all of that. Ellis, my friend, it's been a while. Like I said, I really am. I'm really happy to see you. We were talking about you with someone not too long ago saying, and I asked him, has anyone seen Ellis or heard from Ellis, wondering how you were doing? And I'm glad you came on. I'm glad everything's going well for you right now. Super Fi, JMA, Super Fi, brother. But yeah, it was great to see you again. I hope you're able to jump on more and more. If you're wanting to maybe possibly do some more live stuff, hint, hint, just saying, the StreamYard, you don't need internet at home. You can set up StreamYard and host a StreamYard chat from your phone now. Just saying. Just saying.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It started that about a month or two ago, I think. Didn't they, Clover, where you could host it from your phone?
Mm-hmm.
I might have to get some information from you and Clover on how to do that. And I may actually be able to set my channel back up and put some content out there.
That would be awesome. But no,
that would be awesome.
Bro, it's really great to see you, and I've missed you. And I'm glad that you're back and you can come on anytime you want, bro. So it's really awesome. Do you want to tell people about where they can find you, just in case you do start putting freaking content out again?
Well, most of the people in your chat already knows where to find me. I've been paying attention. I know all these guys, but you know me. I'm the Outlaw Hatfield. I've got my own channel. Grant you, it hasn't been updated in God knows how long, over a year, I'd say at this point. As soon as I get my life straightened down a little bit more and figure out a way to get some internet, I will be putting on my shows again. For those of you who don't know, my general format is interviews. I've interviewed Ghost. I've interviewed Clover. A lot of other guys from YouTube. Some of those interviews are absolutely fantastic. I'm very proud of them. I also do just some live podcasting sort of things where we talk about just general stuff. So, hey, stop on by, give my channel a look. Maybe you'll find something you like. Maybe you won't. Either way, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. I appreciate you either way.
You got it, brother. Georgia Rebel says, I'm here. Then he's out. I think you, if you want to stick around. So, yeah. Everyone's saying it's great to see you again. And it is. It's really, really nice to see you again and all that. Matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do is, since this is part of building a community and doing the one gun thing, I think what I'm going to do is to maybe push you a little bit. I'm supposed to pick 3 people to call out for the one gun challenge. So the first one I'm going to call out is going to be Jeff over at gearreport.com. The second person I'm going to call out is going to be don't know who I'm going to call the second one out, because a lot of people have already been done. I'm going to call out Mark over at Fit and Fire, and I'll make sure he gets a hold of this. I'm going to call Mark out. And the third person I'm going to call out, the consolation is Clover, if you want me to call you out. I know that at one point you weren't sure if you wanted me to, because you might not be able to do a video for a while. If you want to, then I can do that. I'll call out 4 people. But I'm going to call you out, Ellis, and make like a 2 or 3 minute video of. But the question for this one is there is no caveat of the scenario. It's literally you get one gun, period, to do everything for the rest of your life. Video response it. You get one gun. So I'm going to call you out. That might push you to do a piece of content, my friend. Just saying.
All right. Now, here's the question. Does it have to be a gun that I currently own?
I believe it does. Yeah, it's something that you that is in your arsenal at this point. And did you know that someone's already called you out, Clover?
Like I said, sadly, I'm not able to watch everybody's videos all the time. Sometimes
the only reason I know I was called out by Defense Dad is he sent me a message saying I called you out.
If you're out there and you called me out, then you need to email me or message me on social media or do something to contact me to call me out. Don't expect me to see it in your video because I may not watch. I'll put everybody's videos in that watch later queue, but it may be 6 months sometimes before I watch somebody's video. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to call you out if you hadn't been already called out. So, but I'm going to push Ellis. This might give you a reason to get back into doing some content. It doesn't have to be long. It's a 2-minute video,
I will get back to you with something sometime tomorrow.
We'll just post it on YouTube, but then what you have to do is you have to post and you have to challenge 3 people so the tree keeps going. So that's the thing. Oh, okay. So Defense Dad says you do not have to own it. So it's just you get one gun, whether you own it or not. If you could choose one gun for the rest of your life, what would it be? So there you go.
Will do.
There you go. All right. So yeah, thanks for guys for watching. It's been 2 hours and 11 minutes. At the top of the hour at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern, you've got Clover coming up. So Clove, you want to tell people not only about that tonight's show, but tell people they can find you, plug Fire on Friday, whatever you want to plug. You go ahead and take the floor, sir.
I'm not going to plug anything except for the chat here coming up in about an hour. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it is always a lot of fun. So if you're out there, if you're a creator, there's a lot of creators out there in the chat tonight. Come over. We're going to be talking about evergreen content. And I had John Crump, who, I don't know if all you guys know John Crump, but he actually sent me an email asking me what was evergreen content. He didn't even know what that was. And I'm like, are you serious? You write for Ammo Land and you're this big guru guy and in tech and you don't know what evergreen content is? So if you don't know, then show up and I'll explain that when we get everything started. But we're going to talk about evergreen content and other things going on. I've got a video from Creator Insider that I've got to watch here in just a minute because I want to be sure to relay some good information to everybody about the creator sphere and all the things we do. So, and other than that, I'm glad that Ellis jumped in. It's good to see him, and we had a great chat.
It was a great chat. And so, did you see Charlie's reply to John?
No, I don't guess I've seen that.
Oh, it was a great reply. It was a video of Barbra Streisand singing Evergreen from A Star Is Born.
Nice.
It was great. He says, "What is evergreen content?" And he replied and linked Barbra Streisand's song Evergreen to it. It was hilarious.
That could apply. Yeah.
It was evergreen content, literally. So,
hey, guys, before we take off, I want to say thanks for having me, man. Clover, it was great talking to you, man.
Always, bro.
You're welcome anytime, brother. You let me know if you ever get time and want to come on, man. You've always got an invite. You know that.
I know.
So yeah, no problem. Like I said, man, it's great seeing you. Great talking to you again. I miss our talks and our chats back in the day. So yeah, anytime you come around, I'm always here. And let me know about what was it you were going to check on? What was it you were going to check on?
That Savage.
Oh, the Savage, the Stealth. Yeah, let me know. And 6.5 Creed.
Yeah, we got one at work.
Okay, let me know. Let me know. For sure. But all right, guys, thanks a lot so much. I'm gonna get out of here, use the restroom, get something to eat before like I said, in 45 minutes, check out Clover Tack and check out After Hours show. It's gonna be a fun one tonight. It always is fun. But thanks for always watching live. If you're, like I said, if you're watching a replay or listening to a podcast, God bless you. Good Lord. 2 hours and 15 minutes of rambling on between three guys is got to be boring as hell. But if you have a long drive and we got you through it, then we're glad to help you. God bless you. Thanks everyone, especially the new guys, the new viewers out there. Hopefully you guys had fun. Hopefully we answered some questions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Come back next Tuesday. We have Gabriel from DigiTrigger coming back on, and we are going to give away a free DigiTrigger live. If you want to be entered for the DigiTrigger, all you've got to do is go over to Instagram, follow myself, and follow DigiTrigger. Go to either one of the channels, post about that, and comment DigiTrigger in there. So we're going to give it away next Tuesday. We're going to give a free DigiTrigger away. If you don't know what a DigiTrigger is, go to digitrigger.com. Or go to the last week's show, Armed Citizen Podcast, and we did a whole 2.5 hours on the DigiTrigger. So it's great stuff, pretty cool. But we're going to give one away for free next Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the Ghost channel, Ghost Tactical channel on the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. So guys, thank you so much for watching. We will see you soon, and you guys be safe and take care of yourself. God bless America. Stay safe.